The third question of MMPC-2's assignment asks us to describe the various methods of performance appraisal, evaluate the effectiveness of 360-degree feedback in modern organizations, and support our answer with examples. So, we can break this question into two main parts, excluding the introduction and conclusion. The first part is various methods of performance appraisal, and the second part is the effectiveness of 360-degree feedback, which we have to support using examples. Now, organizations have several tools in their appraisal toolkit, and each works best in different scenarios. Like, what are the various methods of performance appraisal that you can think of? If you have read MMPC2 at least once cover to cover, or if you have seen the rapid roundup video of MMPC2 that we have in the channel, maybe you will be able to answer it. But if you don't worry, I have that listed on the screen right now. We have the critical incident method, the graphic rating scale method, the behaviorally anchored rating scale method, management by objectives method, ranking method, forced distribution method, checklist method, and the star of the show, 360-degree feedback. All of these various appraisal methods, performance appraisal methods are there in an HR's toolkit. Now, each method that we've seen right now has its advantages and disadvantages. And organizations, it is the responsibility of the organization and by extension the HR department of that organization to choose the most appropriate method based on their specific needs, their work culture, as well as resources, because effective performance appraisal methods can help in making informed decisions that are related to, say, the selection of employees, their training, their promotion, wage administration, and many other HR practices. Now, let us look at each of these appraisal methods one by one. Hey, if you're enjoying this session, take a quick moment to subscribe to Anu's Classroom and turn on notifications so you will never miss an update. Your likes, shares, and even a super thanks or sticker are little boosts of encouragement that help me keep creating and growing this channel. You got any questions, ideas, or suggestions? Drop them in the comments. I love hearing from you and I'm always here to help however I can. Now let's head back. Let us start with the critical incident method. The first method, critical incident method. All right. Critical incident method works like a performance diary. Managers document specific moments when an employee shines or they slip, and this builds a year-long record, much like a cricket scorecard or what else, like that. You are not judged based on only the last match or the very last performance. All around, whatever you have done, based on all of that, you are going to be appreciated. So that is the critical incident method. Any kind of critical incident that has come up, it could be a positive or a negative, will be monitored, or it will all be written down, and accordingly an evaluation will be given. The second method is graphic rating scale, or GRS. This is a little bit more structured. Here, managers will rate employees on criteria like, say, punctuality or problem solving and all. Usually the range is from 1 to 5 or 1 to 7. It is very simple, it is quick, but it can be subjective. Maybe one manager's 4 might be another manager's 5, or what I consider as exceptional, you might consider as average. Things like that can happen. So that is one drawback of this graphic rating scale. The next is behaviorally anchored rating scale, or BARS, BARS. It takes one step further from GRS by attaching very clear job related behaviors to each rating point. So this makes it harder to rate on gut feeling alone. Okay, so a little bit of an improvement from graphic rating scale, we can say. This behaviorally anchored rating scale will give us. Then the next is management by objectives. Now this is a very, very, very important concept, not right now, like not from this particular question's perspective, but from your term and examination perspective. Management by objectives is a very, very important topic, so understand it while you write the answer. That will make your studying for your examinations a little bit easier. So management by objectives, to tell you in brief, here the employee and manager, both of them, they will agree on specific measurable goals at the start of the evaluation period. So let's say, for example, if the evaluation period of your organization is from uh, maybe May to April or April to March. Okay. In that case, in April, the manager and the subordinate, the employee, they both will sit together and they will decide what are the performance indicators or the key goals that the employee has to strive for, has to work for in the coming year, and accordingly they will work on it. So that is what is management by objectives. The employee and the manager will agree on specific measurable goals at the start of the period, and the final review will become simple. Did we hit that target what we decided in the when the year started or not? That is the simple question here. So Peter Drucker, who popularized this method, called it also called it as management by results. Then comes the ranking method. This is the next appraisal method, and also forced distribution method. These two methods are kind of similar only. These both compare employees, but the latter divides them into preset categories. Okay, the forced distribution method, it divides the employees into preset categories like top performers, average guys on the bottom tier. It is much like you can think of as grading on a curve. This can work in competitive cultures, but it may hurt morale if it is overused. Like you might have heard, if those people who are working might have heard, we have to, what you can say, fit employees into this performance, this bell curve of very high performers, the average guys, and the low performers. High performers will get promotions, and low performers will get repercussions, right? So that is the ranking method and the forced distribution method. Then comes the checklist method. Checklist method is quite straightforward. You tick off tasks or behaviors that the employee has shown. It is efficient, but again, it doesn't capture the how part. How the employee achieved this checklist, how did they complete the to do task, that is not captured in the checklist method. Then coming to the star of our show, star of this question, 360-degree method. Okay, 360-degree feedback is where feedback comes from every direction, hence the name 360 degrees, a full circle. So it will include feedback from your supervisors, your peers, your subordinates, and sometimes even the clients. They all provide a panoramic view of the performance of that particular employee. Now, why has this 360-degree feedback become so popular? One reason is the breadth. It doesn't just capture what the manager sees, it reveals patterns across multiple relationships. For example, an employee might impress the manager with efficiency, but he may be frustrating his peers with poor teamwork. But that gets captured in this 360-degree feedback. Traditional methods that we saw till now, like the critical incident method or checklist method or ranking method, all these traditional methods that we have discussed so far is will miss out on that aspect. Real world proof, if you want, I can tell you Google's Google in 4D. This is an initiative which uses multi source feedback to focus on development, not just evaluation. So employees get a more balanced picture and they can act on specific improvement areas. Similarly, General Electric has a workout program which is an integrated 360-degree feedback into open problem solving sessions. This improves both the communication as well as the trust. Many of our Indian IT companies also have 360-degree feedback. Like, for example, TCS has a 360-degree feedback mechanism. The benefits are compelling. The benefits of 360-degree feedback are quite compelling because it gives richer insights, it gives a stronger self awareness, and better collaboration. However, this method also has its risks. What are the risks you can think of? Because of this too much of feedback, employees can feel overwhelmed. And if the anonymity of the feedback is not protected, then people may hesitate to be honest. I don't want to get into the bad books of anybody, right? So what will happen? I'll keep quiet. If I say something, only they'll get to know I said. If that trust is not there, if that confidentiality is not there, then that honest feedback, providing honest feedbacks will take a back seat. And also, if the feedback is poorly delivered, then it can even demotivate your employees rather than empowering them or inspiring them. The wording, how your feedback is presented, is all a very important thing, right? Maybe the person meant good, but if it is said in a bad tone or in an inappropriate tone or with inappropriate examples or things like that, it will start demotivating you, because miscommunication is quite real, guys. Every step of the way, there is a chance of getting miscommunications. Okay, so that is a very, very important issue with 360-degree feedback as well. So, but in but the bottom line of all of this is, if you can plan your 360-degree feedback well, then it becomes your GPS for career growth. It is accurate, it will be multidimensional, and it will be able to show detours that the employee takes before they become roadblocks. But at the same time, if it is poorly implemented, then it is more like a noisy crowd shouting directions, right? സുന്ദരിക്ക് പൊട്ട് കുത്തുന്ന ഗെയിം ആരെങ്കിലും കളിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടോ? Like, what is that called? Like, put a bindi on a beauty kind of game. Has anybody played in my audience? So there, what happens in the game, I'll tell you, our eyes will be blinded, okay, with some cloth, and we have to take direction from, say, our teammate or from the crowd to get to the picture and rightly put the bindi where it is supposed to be. Okay, so it will there are very good there is a very good chance that your 360-degree feedback will also end up like that game if you are not able to implement it properly. So be very careful. Okay, so in short, I can say that organization have a very much a wide range of appraisal methods to choose from. So, from say the simple checklists to the comprehensive 360-degree system, we have a lot of methods already in place available. Which method to be chosen for our organization will depend on our culture as well as our organization's goals. Okay, like 360-degree approach itself, for example, if you can use it thoughtfully, like how Google or General Electric is doing, you can transform your performance reviews into powerful developmental tools that align individual growth with organizational success. So I hope by now you have understood what are the various methods of performance appraisal and how effective 360-degree feedback will be, along with examples. So I hope that you are in a better position to write your own assignment answers with this session. I will see you in the next video.